Ambush marketing or ambush advertising is a marketing strategy in which an advertiser ambushes an event to compete for exposure against competing advertisers. The term ambush marketing was coined by marketing strategist Jerry Welsh while he was working as the manager of global marketing efforts for American Express in the 1980s. Most forms of ambush marketing capitalize on the prominence of a major event through marketing campaigns that associate an advertiser with it, but without actually having paid sponsorship fees to the event's organizer to identify themselves as an official partner or sponsor. An advertiser may engage in ambush marketing in indirect means, where the advertiser alludes to the imagery and themes of an event without any references to specific trademarks, or in direct and predatory means, where the advertiser makes statements in the marketing that mislead consumers into believing they are officially associated with the event, or performs marketing activities in and around a venue to dilute the presence of official sponsors. Action against ambush marketing is most common in sport. The practice has been a growing concern to the organizers of major sporting events, such as FIFA, the International Olympic Committee, and the National Football League, as ambush marketing can devalue the exclusive sponsorship rights that are sold to other companies, dilute the exposure of official sponsors, and in some cases infringe upon the organizer's intellectual property. In an effort to control ambush marketing, organizers have, in recent years, required the host cities of the major events to enact special laws restricting the use of an event's intellectual property, restrictions on non-sponsors creating unauthorized associations with an event by referring to certain words and concepts, and the ability to ensure that only authorized advertisers may have marketing presence within a specified radius of the site. Such regulations have attracted controversy for limiting freedom of speech, and for preventing companies from factually promoting themselves in the context of an event. Intent and techniques. Typically, ambush marketing is used to write off the prominence and draw of a major event, aligning promotional activities and publicity around it, without having to pay fees to the event's organizer to be designated as an official sponsor in a certain product category. Ambush marketing techniques can be classified into two categories. Direct forms of ambush marketing involve advertisers promoting themselves as being a part of or associated with an event, diluting the exposure of official sponsors and the respective campaigns, especially if they are the product of the non-sponsors' competitors, while indirect forms of ambush marketing use imagery relating to an event in advertising to evoke a mental connection with it, without specifically mentioning it. Predatory forms of direct ambush marketing involve fraudulent claims by a non-sponsor that pass themselves off as being an official sponsor, usually by making direct references to trademarks relating to an event, but without having any official authorization from the event's organizers to identify itself as an official sponsor or use its trademarks. An advertiser may attempt to perform a publicity stunt inside the venue itself to attract attention to the brand, such as having attendees wear attire that is associated with the company. An official sponsor can also be involved in direct ambush marketing if they perform more extensive promotional activities at an event than they were originally authorized, such as distributing branded merchandise when they were only granted advertising on signage, especially if these activities compete with those of another sponsor authorized to do so. A company may also perform direct ambush marketing by riding coattails, factually marketing the role in connection to an event or its participants. For example, a company which produces sporting equipment may advertise that they are the official supplier for a specific athlete or team. Similarly, a non-sponsor may choose to solely sponsor the events telecast by a broadcaster, but not the event itself. The factual acknowledgement of a non-sponsor's involvement with the participants in an event by, for example, a television host or commentator, can also be considered an incidental form of coattail marketing, as it provides additional unpaid publicity to the brand. Most forms of indirect ambush marketing involve a non-sponsor making use of imagery, themes, and values similar to what the event and campaigns from official sponsors express, either positively or negatively, and without making specific references to the event itself or its trademarks. In essence, the advertiser markets itself using content that evokes a mental association with the event, and as a result, appeals to those who are aware of the event. Advertisers may use a well-known generic nickname for the event that is not a trademark, such as the big game. Similarly, a non-sponsor may use distractive techniques to divert consumers' attention away from the actual event and its official sponsors using similarly indirect means. For example, a non-sponsor may saturate the area at or around its venue with a competing marketing presence. Such saturation marketing may either be indirectly related to the event, or be incidental and make no references at all. In some cases, a company may sponsor or create a similar parallel property, designed to compete directly with a major property by evoking similar thematics. Regulation. In response to the threats of ambush marketing and other forms of trademark infringement, organizers of major sporting events have sometimes required host countries or cities to implement special laws that, going beyond standard trademark law, provide regulations and penalties for advertisers who disseminate marketing materials that create unauthorized associations with an event by making references to specific words, concepts, and symbols. Organizers may also require a city to set up clean zones in and around venues, in which advertising and commerce is restricted to those that are authorized by the event's organizer, specifically the event's official sponsors. Similarly, a venue may be required to suspend its naming rights for the duration of the event if the venue is named for a non-sponsor, during which it is referred to under a generic name by all event-related materials and telecasts, and all signage referring to the sponsored name is obscured or removed. Examples. The earliest example of general anti-ambush advertising legislation were passed in South Africa in 2001 in preparation for the 2003 Cricket World Cup. The law gave the Minister of Trade and Industry the ability to designate specific events as protected, making it illegal to use the event's trademarks visually, audibly, and in promotional activities, which in any way, directly or indirectly, is intended to be brought into association with it to allude to an event, to derive special promotional benefit from the event, without the consent of the organizer. Prior to the 2011 Rugby World Cup, New Zealand passed the similar Major Events Management Act, which prohibits any promotional use of words, emblems, and concepts implying association with events specifically designated as major by the federal government, without permission from the event's organizers. The law also provides the ability for clean zones to be established around event sites for the purposes of enforcing advertising rules and providing crowd control. Rule 40 of the Olympic Charter forbids all Olympic athletes from participating in marketing activities for companies that are not official sponsors of the Olympics, even if they have official relationships with the advertiser. advertiser, during a time frame that begins 9 days before the opening ceremony, and ends 3 days after the game's conclusion. This includes advertising material containing Olympic-related terms, including the current year, the host city's name, games, Olympians, quote, sponsors, medal, gold, silver, bronze, challenge, effort, performance, and victory. The International Olympic Committee has required host cities to enact measures to restrict commerce around venues, ensure official sponsors have access to public advertising space, reduce and sanction ambush marketing, and keep venues clean of any references to non-sponsors. The IOC has also required Olympic broadcasters to give official sponsors the right of first refusal to advertising time during its telecasts. During the 2010 Winter Olympics, hockey venue Rogers Arena was renamed Canada Hockey Place for the duration of the Games. The United Kingdom passed the London Olympic Games and Paralympic Games Act 2006 prior to the 2012 Summer Olympics. On top of existing laws providing special protection for Olympic symbols, the Act banned the use of the words 2012 and Games by non-sponsors, either together or with words or concepts relating to the event, such as gold, silver, bronze, medals, summer, sponsors, or London, to imply an association with the Games. LOCOG also announced plans to enforce these rules in the Internet keyword advertising market.